Share a little tip and show my progress this morning. I am adding detail work to my armor. So I am using this sticky pad foam. They're just the thin foam pieces, but because it has a sticky back, they're so much easier to work with than if I was to have to use glue or something on all of these pieces. Because there's a lot of little detail work on everything. Here's the rest. Here's the shoulder pieces. That one was the same. And the back and front. And there are a couple places where it likes to come loose, so I will have to, especially if you stretch it a little bit, it doesn't hold as well. So in those spots I can use a little glue to help hold things in, but it's just a costume, so it doesn't matter if it's absolutely perfect. Anyway, working on getting these done. I'm really proud of my gauntlet. I'm excited to make the next one. They're not perfectly accurate, but they're close enough that people will get the idea. It's so fun. Woohoo! So, I love the look of them now that they're spray painted. I have to touch up with a little bit of glue here or there where things came loose. I just threw this together out of a couple pieces of the foam sheets for the collar. There's our thigh piece, knee piece, etc. Did a mixture. I did a primer and then a mixture of turquoise and black to make it, and then I'll go over it with a dry brush with some gray metallic paint to make it look like metal, and in a couple spots I need to make it look worn, so some sanding and stuff. So that's that. I love how these turned out. Did all the detail painting during nap time and spray painting. So, knee pad. This has already been made for a few days. This is the belt. I'm still debating whether I want to try to do a second belt or just throw like a plain black belt on. These are her clips that go on the shirt that I'm just going to glue on with ribbon. Her thigh piece. Gauntlet, which I have glued to my leather gauntlets. Second gauntlet. Shoulder pad, chest, back, shoulder pad. And then this is the little collar that goes on the shirt. So I'm so excited! Now I have to start sewing. I actually have to start sewing now. Peekaboo! Boo! Right, last thing I'm going to do tonight, before I just chill for the rest of the night, is cut out my pattern for the crop top, and then maybe cut out fabric tonight. I don't know. So I got it from Patterns by Mood, but it was the Mega Coven Art tutorial that sent me to this. I will put the link below. So now I gotta tape these together, figure out which one's gonna be my size, make sure my 2-inch test square is correct, and judge from there. And then cut out some fabric.
Alright, just had to share a video of this. Diane, when she naps in our bed, will sometimes tuck in animals in our bed. And so it's just really funny because every once in a while I'll go into my room and I'll see this. What? You want your keys? There you go. Let's go get some food now.
Alright, I'm piecing together my now finished, well, close to being finished vest. So I have spray painted, sewed everything together, hand sewed some leather on the bottom. I'm not worrying about details on the side right now because I just want to get it put together. Hot gluing pieces together. I had to put it on myself and make sure everything would fit properly. I used velcro for the shoulder pads, so they're removable. And there's the front piece. Right, I have to show off. This is what it looks like on me. I had a little issue. I probably should have done slightly smaller shoulder pads or slightly smaller chest piece, but I didn't know how it was going to fit exactly on me. So they're a little tight and don't work quite right, but I'm not redoing it. Not redoing it at all, because that took a lot of work. There's the back. And again, that's a little bit low. Should have done smaller pieces so it fit my body, but it gets the idea. And that's the biggest thing, is that it's supposed to look kind of like her. It's a beautiful fall day. Brought the girls out for a minute. I had to go get more spray paint. And I'm finishing off my leggings girders. I don't remember what Brad calls them. I honestly am really bad at remembering. So it went from a bright pink mesh to black. Spray paint, it's awesome. Now that my armor is done, I need to start actually sewing. So I'm working on Eliza's. At our thrift store, we found a sweater that already had a fur collar. So it's not like fleece, but it'll have the effect needed anyway. And I found this sweater, I was like, you know what? We're just going to adjust this so it fits Eliza. So I have had to take in the shoulders several inches. And then I've taken in the back several inches so it sits on her shoulders properly. And then I'm going to move the button all the way to the side. So that way it can just button over and then it should fit her well enough to not fall off all the time. And it will be her little robe, just a little cute robe. And then we're using this tank top that I talked about in a previous episode to make her hat, which I don't have any felt on hand, I realized, but I have some batting. So I'm going to double layer batting up for the ears. Should be good. There she is. I think it works great. And it took me like 10 minutes to sew everything. Instead of an hour or two. Yeah, that's her little Yoda robe. She doesn't like it yet. We'll get her to like it. I'll make her wear it a few times. Eliza, say hi. Hi. Turn around and look at me. We're gonna have to give her like a green shirt to wear or something. Probably just a tan shirt. Something neutral. Onesie, I don't know. We have our ears, the green part cut out. Now I need to cut out the batting and we'll start sewing them together. We're going to sew along the edges with the batting, with the two layers facing out, and then the batting on top of one of the layers, and then we'll flip it inside out, turn the edges in, and then sew that together, and then we'll put it into the hat. Ta-da! Leaving the bottom open so I can flip it around. Let's see how these turned out. This is going to be fun trying to do it one-handed. So now I take the green stuff. Ta-da! Push that out a little bit more. Now I'm going to sew along these edges really quick, just to give it that smooth edge seam to look. Ears are done! Woo woo! Be careful not to do them the same direction. I accidentally did that and had to seam rip this and do it again. So be careful with that. Alright, for the headpiece we're going to do a bonnet style thing. I'm going to start with the shape of just a hood, one of her hooded jackets, and then I will adjust it as needed to fit her head properly. So I just cut it out the shape of the hood, sewed the seam, I am doing double layers so that when I sew the ears in, they're not going to be sticking out of the inside, and so it has a little more stability. I did end up smoothing out the top of the hood a little bit because it was pointy in the back. And then I just put it on my daughter's head and figured out where the bottom of her ear is. So I'm going to go a little bit back, and I'm going to cut a hole and then sew my ear inside. And so then it'll just be sitting there. Alright, here we go. I cut a hole slightly smaller than the ear, then stretched it over and just sewed it straight in. Just tried it on my girl's head. I should probably sew it a little higher so I hide that seam. And they're not too badly floppy. They're a little bit floppy, but you know what? It's just a Halloween costume. Then when I finish working on the inside, I will sew this closed, and then because I used a tank top, I'm literally just going to steal the straps off the tank top for the ties under her chin. Alright, here's our Yoda bonnet. So, there's our ears on it. There's our little ties at the end sewed. Just a really simple run through on the stitch. And I see about double layered. The ears aren't sticking out on that side. And honestly, on the bottom it was a little bit long for my daughter, so I just pulled where I tie up a little bit. About an inch on each side. So it'll wrap around her better. You want to try it on? Diane wanted to model it. See, the ears are actually pretty good. Look at me. That's a Baby Yoda hood. You gonna wear it, Eliza? You gonna let me put it on you? We were thinking that might stay on her better than just a little hat, because you could tie it around her neck, but we'll see. I still assume that it's going to get pulled off several times over the night. I just want it on long enough to take pictures and maybe visit like 2 or 3 houses for trick-or-treating, some neighbors that we know. And we're doing a little small Halloween party, so she's got to wear it for that too. Hey, backwards, Diane.
Oh my goodness, little Yoda!
You're so cute!
Oh my goodness! That's so adorable! It's so
It worked out really well. This is the way. It's been about 4 days printing. Just enjoy this for a second.